to OCC Learning. And
welcome to OCC Learning. All right, guys, let's do this. So, what's going on? We saw the news yesterday. I'm sure of course, Bella's excited too. She's not funny. She just come here. I know, as soon as she hear my voice. Okay, so let's go. Actually, let me play some hype song here. Be right back. All right, the best song ever. I saw this one. Okay, so let's do this real quick, you guys. I hope everybody's doing well. Hi, Manuel. Thank you, Michael. Howdy. Okay, so how's everybody doing today? I know everybody hyped up already by the news. So by now, we already know what GameStop has been doing. So far, I was looking at the filing quite a bit. Of course, I didn't look into it in depth, but just the snippets of it is the fact that I might use it for, what is it called? Investment and acquisition, right? So that's the next speculation. So now we don't need to speculate how much money GameStop is going to be making anymore, right? Now my opinion on this, I feel like it's a bit too early for them to do that, but hey, maybe they already have something lined up. My speculation is that they probably have a deal going on already, and they just need exact that amount or a little bit more than this amount, whatever. This is the amount that they need so far to seal the deal, so to speak, right? Again, anything that I say now, it would be just speculation, but for this particular share offerings already been completed, it's filed, and this is fact. So let's go with that facts for now, and then we'll see what we could do with it, right? So I was doing some math a little bit here. I know we're all excited about, book value, unless I'm doing something wrong here. Please correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the chat. So now this number here, if you watch my channel, you know what these are. This is the trailing 12 for the next earnings report. Again, this is preliminary report from a couple weeks ago. And again, I used the most conservative number. So this particular one is the worst case scenario. Okay, so they will post 20 million trailing 12 plus for the next one. So again, this is just a ballpark. And then what I was expecting is this to be a little bit higher, but I don't know. But hey, now that I have this particular number, I could change my strategy moving forward, right? Now remember, my strategy of like price point and all that stuff comes from books value, and it's just something that I developed for myself. So if you want to go buy that, please beware. There's no rhyme or reason for this. It's just based on the book value, and I think what is the price moving forward. Now, my strategy is going to change from this particular forward here on out. Of course, it's going to be, I think with the book value and the fact that, perhaps there's a looming short squeeze coming. I saw the option chain too, going crazy on the $20 call option being bought on June 21st. Sorry. I think that's going to be, something to behold. And so I'm just going to wait. So my starting point now, I was thinking, again, there's no rhyme or reason for my strategy here. So I'm going to start with around twice the all-time high, right? So I'm going to try to start with that and then just cascade based on $25 increment, right? I don't know if that's reasonable or not. We will see. But that's just my strategy moving forward. Again, just to get some profit, just in case this theory of the mother of all short squeezes, they call MOAS or whatever, just in case this theory is not playing out. Okay. Again, every theories that of course, I'm leaning towards this right here. That's why I have a portion that I will hold until all of this is happening. But as far as the gamma ram, the ramping that is happening within this couple of weeks to come, I'm willing to kind of part with a couple of shares here. And again, this might change. So I don't know how many, straggler shares I have to play with in this regard. But I have to tally it up. But it's close to 300 or more. So, but just a little bit over there. Not much. Again, this is my play, my what is it called? A trading account. So I could play with the price action and kind of like try to predict, okay, let me go back in, let me just trim off here and there. But as far as like the amount in which I'm willing to part with my share, and again, if I have any changes, I will let you know when that happens. But again, to me, watching the chart is also important as well. And so, but let's go through this one real quick though before so this is not a speculation anymore. So it's around this much. Okay, so I don't remember. I think it's like this one. Oops. Yes. Something like that. Again, this is a ballpark just due to the number. It's close to that one. So they did that already. They made that money. So now they have like billions of dollars in order to, do whatever they need to, whether acquisition or just doing anything with it. So the thesis that they are not making money is dead, right? I think the next one we need to address, which is the next step, is the declining revenue, right? Now, when this narrative is dead, that I think that's when we are, setting off to the race. So, the battle is still going on, right? And I think while we're hyped on this one, I think it needs more time to develop, right? So I wouldn't be very kind of hyped up yet until we get to the S&P 500. But yeah, it's worth celebrating. My point is like, it's something worth celebrating. So we're inching little by little and chipping away at the bear cases, right? So the next one would be, whichever comes first, right? is the operating expenses exceeding decrease, and the gross profit is going to exceeding the expenses, right? So we want this number right here. Just in case you don't remember, this one I did. Let's see. Yeah, so this one subtracted this one, right? So we want it to be positive, just like this one. So that's the only way we could make money from the actual business itself, right? But keep in mind, this is after quarter one, all right? 12. This is quarter one, so we're posting like close to $40 million difference right here. Again, this is just me speculating based on the preliminary report. So once I get that solidified, it wouldn't be a speculation anymore. But it's pretty close to $40 million versus $58 million for last year. Michael, I think they have the deal in the works and need a specific amount of money to close the deal. Yeah, I heard that being said before. Yeah, I do agree with that though. Perhaps again, or they know who's the buyer is going to be already. That the institutions that bought that shares is probably, just like Moran's was saying too, that Volution Capital or some other big institution that are big name that are not short GME, right? That they are going to go long and it's going to lock in that $20 a share. That's pretty sweet deal if you ask me, right? At this with this balance sheet, this leadership, and it's a lot more room to run here, in my opinion. Decades to come too. I mean, this stock is going to survive for decades, and the fact that it's been beaten down for a long time too, adding the fact that people are trading like crazy, right? So the volume on this thing is very high, and it's been high pretty the volume that it has never been seen before. So that is pretty. So I was like looking at, okay, where are the share offerings? So it's putting in the shareholder equity section. So that's why there. Now, when I was looking at the trading view, there's a lot of gap fill. I want to kind of address that a little bit here. Now, moving forward, obviously Monday is not going to be open because of Memorial Day. So you have to wait until Tuesday for this to play out. Now, my expectation is kind of met already. So I was looking at that price point, which is barely touched. And in that gap fill right here, if you look at the hourly, you would see that gap kind of close to fill right there, right? Not quite. So they might still be beaten down, but I don't know if they could anymore with this news, right? So that's probably was the gap fill right there. But just miss it by a couple of cents here. Now, I did watch that gap fill while I was working. I couldn't. I was kind of getting cold feet because I was like, okay, they might drop it down to 15. Didn't realize that there is a good news coming in. But yeah, I mean, did I grab a couple shares here? No, I didn't. I was waiting for my paycheck. But did I regret not snatching at 17? Yes, today. Would have had a couple more shares, maybe 10 or 15, based on the dry powder that I have. It's okay, I could get it at $20 maybe. Okay, so let's see. My thought, now I was looking at this trend line right here. So perhaps that's what it's going to follow moving forward. Is this going to be the drop here to try to scare some people away again before like this, hit the trend line, come back, boom. Or just gap up and go, who knows, right? That's also possible too. But I remember drawing this part. Oh, please don't take any trade based on this, because I'm not a technical analysis person. Just doing this for fun. So again, is it possible that it's going to be dropped down again? Who knows? Now, I saw this indicator being kind of the money flow type thing. I saw, was it Jack Latit guy? I was listening to him on Friday. He's pretty entertaining. But anyway, so this particular indicator was mentioned rather than the OBV. So, I mean, it makes sense that, well, the way he explained it is this indicator is probably a better one to go by. So I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm just trying to kind of add the knowledge of trading here to, again, the reason why I do that is to find that support, right? It's like, okay, as an investor, long-term investor in this company, when is the best time to add to your position long-term? So that's why I do it that way. Not so much, care about the in and out aspect of things. I've tried to increase my position shares, holdings through trading before, but it never, I find that at the end of the month, I have less share. So I'm just not good at it, So again, this is why I developed the strategy of, okay, buy whenever you can and then hold it for an extended period of time, however long that is. Could be a month, 2 months, 3 months, or whatever, a year, right? And if you want to do a swing trade, it's probably a better a way to go about things, right? But with this particular company, it's just so unique that I have to at least have some, portion in which I call moonback right there, moonback. And then, a portion to play with in that sense too. I know people get boards and all that stuff. So anyway, so this one is going to be changed right here. So instead of 50, it's going to be 60. Why 60? 65? Well, book value. It's based on this book value. So 10 times book value, I'm not willing to add anymore to the long-term back right here. And then below 22, I might kind of raise this a little bit here. So 40. Why 40? Well, we think that below 40 is going to be a kind of the level that they're going to try to defend as much as they can. So 40. Anything under 40, I will be able, I will add the same rate. And then in between there. So, yes, so the price has increased because of the book value. Now, I don't know how fair this value is, but I think $40 is pretty fair for this company right now. In my opinion, obviously. So I'm willing to add at the same rate, which is, whatever, my monthly is. Currently is like $200. Again, I will up this. Like depends on what my expenses is, right? So, and then I'll buy less in between here. So that's just my price level in which I don't want to, like, can you imagine if people go up here and buy at 60? Again, 65 to me, again, because of the story behind this company, short squeeze and all that stuff, is very low. Of course, I'm not going to sell at that price, but I just don't want to add more, right, to that unless I have the reason to. Now, come shareholder meeting, if they have bought something more valuable, of course, I'm going to change my thesis, right? Again, right here. So instead of maybe 10 times, due to this, perhaps the earning potential for whatever the companies that they're, or next adventure that they're putting themselves in, the speculation. Again, everything is speculation here. So if they're able to bring more revenue, or a company that makes more money or project to make more money, that is going to add more value to the share, to the share price of the company or the actual company itself, like more money for the company here, more revenue. Can you imagine if they are able to increase revenue from now on from this baseline right here? Yeah, so because that narrative of like, okay, GME doesn't, top line revenue declining and all that stuff, that is not going to be a, they'll run it. I'm sure they'll try to make people think that somehow GME doesn't make any money and all that stuff for this particular report, obviously, because if the report comes out right here, if you look at the number right there, I'm sure people are going to be like, still write that article, right? Top line revenue is still down, even though we already know like the news in that sense. So just the value right here. So from here to here, trailing 12, they're going to run that story still. Never mind the fact that we're cleaning up the balance sheets to the point where it's going to be 20 million share, 20 million dollars in the plus, right? Again, this is an estimate for now. And then the shareholder equity of $2.2 billion. They don't have it here. But yeah, so they're gonna come shareholder meeting. They're gonna run this story still. Now, after this, right here, this is when we're gonna see something amazing, I think. Again, the price action, in my opinion, they're gonna try to confuse people for a little bit in terms of the price action here. So possibly they could still, bring it down to 15 to try to scare people. Oh, good news, really? Why is the price down? Right? So that's going to be the narrative there too. But again, there's a lot of new people coming into this particular play. There's a lot of other squeezes too, right? That they try to get you into, like the, what is it? FIE, that stock right there. And again, it's the same narrative to try to kind of tether GameStop into this quote unquote meme stock. I totally agree. Be more. Many years ago, I tried day trading and make a little money, but nothing to make it worthwhile. I change a buy and hold value investor. Swing tradings are still possible, but with GME, you have kept certain number of shares a long term, like bunch and don't touch it. Of course, yes. I mean, I have that thesis a long time ago, and I just thought that, again, everything that I do comes from experience, right? Like in the stock market in particular. And so anything that I make mistake of, like, I was losing a lot of money too, but lost the gain that I had the previous year. So it's technically, it wasn't my own money that I lost, but it was a pretty substantial money. I could have buy a car with it, right? Pay off my car, the whole thing, like a pretty decent car. And so I lost a whole car due to day trading. But again, to me, that was a tuition for me to pay to understand, okay, need to risk manage and all that stuff. And so that's why I'm trying to kind of at least get people to think about the long-term investment, and at least, find a company that you love and you think that is going to add value to your portfolio and all that stuff in the long-term sense, right? And I think GME just dropped into everybody's lap. I think, after that buy button being removed, you're kind of like, it's like, okay, let me reevaluate this real quick. What's happening here? So that's another layer as well. And so that's kind of like give me the opportunity to learn more about the stock market, how it works, the structure, how every stock is being traded, how every stock is being kind of psychologically manipulating the price down in order to scare, long-term investor or shake retail out, and this is what institution has been doing for eons. Because institution usually knows what's going on, and the fact that GME was the it's kind of like a story that hasn't been written quite yet. Like of course they try to tell us it's over, right? They make the documentary, they make a whole freaking movie about it, dumb money, right? To try to kind of convince us, oh, it's over, or convince other people that it's over. Now, everybody, what do they say? Short squeeze this, short squeeze that. Oh, there's a potential for short squeeze. I'm like, wait a minute. Now short squeeze is on? It's like crazy. These people, it's like they change their narrative. And I knew that this is going to happen when they're ready to flip the script. Remember, like a couple months ago, I kind of talked about that. because these people have no principle, right? They just read the stuff that is right in front of their face. They don't have, and the people that covering financial news, they don't know anything about the balance sheet. I bet you anything. 1 second. Okay, sorry. I might need to go in a minute because my internet's not doing well. We might have to set up the internet modem, but I'll be right back. I know Jay just joined in. Okay, so pumped, brother. Yep. We are about to get ready to be a part of the right side of history. Yes. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm experiencing the internet issue in a minute. So, all right. So, I feel like. Okay. I'll be right back.